Now, of course, Nanda Maharaj may think Krishna is just like 6 years old, 7 years old. He's asking this question. I don't quite know if I should take this seriously because it's just a child talking. There's a lot of commotion in the village, and of course, the child wants to know what's happening. So Krishna wants to make sure that his question is taken seriously. So he's making a bit of a philosophical point now. Please tell me about it, O Father. I have a great desire to know, and I'm ready to hear in good faith. Certainly, no secrets are to be kept by saintly personalities who see all others as equal to themselves, who have no conception of mine and another's, and who do not consider who's a friend, who's an enemy, and who's neutral. One who's neutral may be avoided like an enemy, but a friend should be considered like one's own self. Purport: even if Nanda Maharaj did not see friends, enemies, and neutral parties as entirely equal, Lord Krishna, being Nanda Maharaj's son, was certainly a most trustworthy friend and should therefore not be left out of intimate discussions. In other words, Nanda Maharaj might have thought that as a householder he could not act on the highest saintly platform, and thus Lord Krishna furnished additional reasons with his father why his father should trust him and reveal the entire purpose of the sacrifice. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, Nanda Maharaj stood silent, doubting his position of parental aloofness, since Garga Muni had predicted that his son would be, quote, equal to Narayan in his qualities, unquote. And the young boy had already conquered and killed many powerful demons. So in the last chapter, we've heard how Krishna kind of exposed the ritualistic brahmanas who are performing Vedic sacrifices, and they're fruitive sacrifices. They're sacrifices to gain material prosperity in this life and the next, specifically to go to Swarga, the heavenly worlds. So, whereas the wives of the brahmanas, they run towards Krishna and they didn't care about any material considerations. So now in the next chapter, we see that again, preparations are made for a great Vedic sacrifice, which is in the Karmakanda category. So Krishna again makes the point in this whole Leela that it's not necessary for his devotees to do these kinds of sacrifices, to perform these kind of works. In the material world, everybody is concerned with what's called Yogakshem. We find these words appear in the Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna in the second chapter tells Arjuna, don't be worried about Yogakshema. Yogakshema means, yoga means, in this connection, to acquire what one does not have. And kshema means to protect what one's have. So gain and safety, or to get what one needs, fulfill one's needs, and protect the assets one already has to fulfill those needs. That's Yogakshem. So every soul in this material world, each and every one of us, is concerned with Yogakshem. We're all concerned about maintaining ourselves, maintaining our status quo in this material world, to be protected from danger, protected from obstacles which interfere with our comfortable situation we've created for ourselves, or we're trying to create for ourselves. So, and that's why there's all these sacrifices are there, the Karma Kanda section is very much concerned about acquiring one's needs in a dharmic way and protecting one's material situation. So, yeah, for that reason, sacrifices are performed. Now, Krishna tells in the Gita that Yoga Kshemam Vahamyam, to my devotees who exclusively worship me, Atesham Nitya Abhiktanam, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyam. I carry the yoga and the kshema. I protect what they have and I carry what they lack. So devotees don't have to worry about that so much. So Krishna wants to make that point in this Leela. And this is also where we can draw the parallel to the Leela of Narasimhadev, where Prahlad Maharaj is exclusively devoted to the Lord, and he really does not care about his own safety and protection. He just doesn't do it, which is kind of amazing. He's just fully immersed in the remembrance and the service of the Lord, and he's completely fearless, absolutely fearless. We've heard in the last verse of the previous chapter that the Brahmanas did not surrender to Krishna or did not go to Krishna and take shelter of him. Why? Anyone remembers why?
They were afraid that Kamsa would
Fear of Kamsa.
Yeah, they were afraid that Kamsa would kill them. They had fear, bhaya of Kamsa. Now, Prahlad Maharaj, Kamsa is not like, the next town over. He has a more powerful demon as his father, who is does not like what he's doing. That who wants absolute surrender to him alone. And Prahlad Maharaj just doesn't do it because he's exclusively devoted to the Lord, takes exclusive shelter of the Lord, and he's fearless because the Lord will surely protect me. That is the mood of a surrendered devotee. That the Lord, Rakshishyatiti Vishrasa, the firm faith that the Lord will always protect me, and Goptritve Varanam, acceptance of the Lord as one's maintainer. So one doesn't have to really be so concerned about one's own maintenance. It's not the paycheck which maintains us, it's Krishna who maintains us. So devotees are more concerned with serving the Lord nicely than being concerned about their material necessities. So, and that creates conflicts, as we see in this pastime, because the pastime of Govardhan Lila, because Indra did not like that. Because the Brijbasis, they shifted their worship from Indra to Krishna. And Indra, having the sense of the false conception that he is the Lord of the universe, is not happy that they are defying him and his position in favor of this talkative little child, Krishna, who's going to tell Nanda Maharaj in this chapter why he should not worship Indra. With this, which is, I think is stated later on, with the specific purpose of making Indra angry, kind of poking his false pride in his position. And we see in the pastime of Lord Narasimhadev, his appearance, who is sitting on the throne of Indra? That is Hiranyakashipu, who is considering himself the undisputed monarch of the entire universe. He considers himself the Lord, and whoever challenges that position, they will tremble in fear of him. He says it in one verse, like, even when I raise my eyebrow, all the demigods in heaven, they tremble in fear. So he doesn't tolerate anyone defying his position as the Lord of the universe. But of course, Prahlad Maharaj does not consider that at all. And it also creates a conflict, just like it created a conflict between the Brijbasis and Indra. But in both the situations, we see the Lord is fully protecting his devotees. And that is one of the topics of Srimad Bhagavatam. It's called Poshanam. Poshanam means Tat Anugraha. That means the mercy of the Supreme Personality of God, specifically towards his exclusive devotees, those who have exclusively taken shelter of him, leaving aside everything else in the material world. And that leads to wonderful pastimes. It's like this Govardhan Lila. Krishna in such a beautiful way is lifting the Govardhan hill in protection of his devotees. He thought about, maybe I should, when Indra hurled his thunderbolts and his rain to destroy all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, Krishna thought, maybe I should kill him. But then he thought, no, he's too insignificant. And he's my devotee also. He's just got a little bewildered by his false ego. Let me just kill his false ego, purify his false ego. Hiranyakashipu, Krishna did not consider that, because Krishna was extremely angry when Hiranyakashipu, or when he appeared, because he was a person of demoniac mentality. It wasn't just an occasional thing. And also, although he also wanted, just like Indra wanted to destroy Krishna's devotees, he wanted to kill Prahlad Maharaj, like directly, like he had a sword raised, and therefore Nrsimhadev appeared in that form, very angry form. Now I'm going a little bit too fast, because I want to backtrack a little bit to what actually led up to the appearance of Lord Nrsimhadev. Because again, we see a very nice connection to the verses of today. So Krishna said, and I'll just pull it up once again, in trying to convince Nanda Maharaj, he says that certainly no secrets are to be kept by saintly personalities who see all others as equal to themselves, who have no conception of mind and another's, and who do not consider who's a friend, who's an enemy, and who's a neutral. So we hear this in the Bhagavad Gita also. Pandita Samadarshina. The Pandits, the truly learned people, they're Samadarshina. They have equal vision. They don't make distinction between one's own self and another. They see each other. They see everything every living being as they see their own selves. That's described here, Sarvadmanam. They see one's own self as the self of all, not in the sense of that there's only one self and it's all impersonal equality, but in relation to their own self, they see every other living being just as good as their own self. And it doesn't matter what body they have. So Krishna is saying this argument because he says these saintly people are very liberal. They very liberally share themselves with others. They don't keep secrets. A liberal, saintly person will give the truth to anyone and everyone who is qualified, or not even qualified. And of course, to some extent, saintly persons also keep things confidential, which are meant confidential. Like sometimes Prabhupada was asked, what is your relationship with Krishna in the spiritual world? And he would say that you don't require to know. That's a private thing. But otherwise, he didn't have some secret, some gopium, that's described as gopium, to be kept secret. He didn't have some mantra which was to be kept secret, and you have to pay like a large amount of money to get that mantra. No, he would just give that mantra for free and liberally give that to everyone. So that's the mood of saintly people, and that's the actual mood of Samadarshana, of equal-mindedness, to see everyone as soul, and to try to not just live for one's own self, but to uplift everyone else who one comes in contact with. And that's a tall order, of course. But we see this mood in Prahlad Maharaj. There's actually a perfect description of Prahlad Maharaj. So if we actually read up to what's the appearance of Lord Narasimhadev, what actually was happening is that Prahlad Maharaj was not only himself taking full shelter of Krishna and worshipping him to the great dismay of his father, he was also telling all his schoolmates to do the same. And he was quite successful at it. So they all became devotees. All the sons of the demons, they became devotees. They started to have kirtan in the classroom when the teachers were out for a little bit. So, and when Hiranyakashipu found out about this, then his anger, well, he already tried to kill Prahlad in so many ways, but then his anger went to a whole new level. Now he thought, now he's not only himself spoiled, but he's spoiling all others as well. So now I'm going to take care of business myself. So he called for Prahlad, and he told him, let's go. This is the 8th chapter of the 7th canto. It's called Lord Narasimhadev Slays the King of Demons. So this is Hiranyakashipu speaking to Prahlad. Oh, actually, I have it right here. I can pull it up so you can all see. This is verse 5, the 8th chapter. Hiranyakashipu said, "O most impudent, most unintelligent disruptor of the family, O lowest of mankind, you have violated my power to rule you, and therefore you're an obstinate fool. Today I shall send you to the place of Yamaraj." "My son Prahlad, you rascal! You know that when I'm angry, all the planets of the 3 worlds tremble, along with their chief rulers. By whose power has a rascal like you become so impudent that you appear fearless and overstep my power to rule you?" And we see a very similar mentality in Indra. So then Prahlad famously said, "The source of my strength is exactly the same as yours. You consider yourself the ruler of the whole universe, but you only get that power from Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Lord, truly the controller." So, of course, that was already enough to incense Hiranyakashipu. But then Prahlad Maharaj, he decided to not only tell the truth, but also to instruct Hiranyakashipu about what he should be doing. So now he's turning the tables. First, he's making this philosophical general statement. Our power is coming from the same source, which is just already infuriating. Now he's going to just directly tell him what he should be doing. He's going to instruct his father. Also, a nice parallel here between Nanda Maharaj and Krishna, son inquiring from the father. Now it's going to be the son instructing the father. But the father is not exactly a saintly devotee like Nanda Maharaj. So this is a very nice verse. Dhyasuram bhavamimam tvamatmanah Samam mano datsana santi vidvishaha ritejita admana utpate stita tadhi anantasya mahat samarhanam. So he says, Jahi asuram bhavam imam. My dear father, please give up your demoniac mentality. Do not discriminate in your heart between enemies and friends. Make your mind equipoised towards everyone, except for the uncontrolled and misguided mind. There is no enemy within this world. When one sees everyone on the platform of equality, one then comes to the position of worshiping the Lord perfectly. So this is very nice. A samam manodatsa. Make your mind equal. You're thinking I'm your enemy and Lord Vishnu is your enemy, but this is only your mental concoction. Nasanti vidvishaha. There are no enemies. You think this is this great enemy who's threatening your position. Nasanti vidvishaha. There are no enemies. Rite aditat admana utpate sita. Except for the uncontrolled mind, which is situated on utpata. Utpata means a misguided path, like a deviated path. Prabhupada says, on the mistaken path of undesirable tendencies. So your mind situated on that path, leading to your own destruction, to your own, all your suffering is only coming from that path. All your insecurity, all your fears, only is coming from going on that path. So there's no other enemy than your mind who's taking you on that path. So tadhiyanantasya mahat samaharanam, becoming equal, that equality of mind, that is the platform, Prabhupada says, of worshiping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Ananta, the Unlimited One. So we see that parallel here in this verse that Krishna says, saintly persons, they see everyone as equal. They don't make this distinction between this is my friend, this is my enemy. As soon as one has strong material desires and pursues those, like Hiranyakashipu is the personification of material desire. Hiranyakashipu, gold and Kashipu, comforts, sexual pleasures especially. So these are the core material desires which are in the heart of the conditioned soul. For wealth, and then wealth, comfort, and sense gratification. So as soon as one follows that path of selfish enjoyment, then immediately some people will be favorable to that and others will pose obstructions to that. So immediately, as soon as one walks that path, there's like friends and enemies. And it can also be in a more subtle way, like even as devotees. Let's say, I have a particular relationship with my guru. And now we see someone getting more mercy than I get. Or getting a little bit closer, or, getting some more prominence. And then I'm thinking, oh, now this person is my enemy. It may be in a very subtle way. I've seen that myself. And then sometimes even, they want to kind of pull that down like this in a bucket of crabs. And when one crab, climbs up, the other crabs, they will grab. That's how they'll never get out. Because they don't want to see the other come up. Or one is very good at a particular service, or even not so good, but somebody else does it better than us. And then, one may have a particular service or a particular position. And then one thinking, oh, I have to protect this. So then immediately that's even on a subtle level, although we may not act like an enemy like Hiranyakashipu does, but on a subtle level, that idea maybe there are friends and enemies, like, oh, this is, somebody may criticize us or correct us for our own good. And we think, oh, this person is not my friend, this person is my enemy. Because they somehow mess with my status quo of like my own false egotistic position I've created for myself. So in so many ways, as soon as we have some material interest, some material desire, and some attachment to material position in the material world, as soon as this being threatened in some way, then there's that concept of friends and enemies comes in. It's very deep rooted in the conditioned soul. So Prahlad Maharaj says, actually, there's no friends and enemies. Only problem is one's mind, which wants to create a very nice, comfortable, enjoyable position in the material world, which is not available. So a saint like Prahlad, his just concern is to serve Krishna, go back to the spiritual world. They have no hope in this material realm for comfort and safety. So so we see that's beautifully exemplified by Prahlad. And Prahlad therefore had this mood of, he embodied this quality of equality, of samam. Later on, there's this beautiful prayer where Prahlad says, I don't want to go back to God just alone. Like, there's so many saintly persons. They're very samam, they're very equipoised. They live in the Himalayas and caves and forests. Their minds are perfectly equipoised. But they're not considering the welfare of others. Their samam, the equality doesn't go as far as just the equanimity of their own mind. True equality also considers the welfare of all other living beings, as seeing other living beings as good as one's own self. This is pointed out also by Vishwanath Chakravarti S. in his commentary to this verse, that this quality of sama is seeing others swatulya darshan, seeing others as oneself. And so naturally, when one sees others are suffering, one takes that suffering as one's own suffering. Spara dukkha dukhi. And that's a very beautiful quality of Vaishnavas, that they always try to uplift other souls who are suffering in this world. I could observe that in my own spiritual master, who just recently passed away. Then in leaving this world, when he got this notice that he had only a few months left, it wasn't that he was all like focused just on himself and his own self-realization. He was more concerned, of course, he was already fully immersed in devotional service and only intensified that. But his mood was not so much just like thinking of himself. He was just thinking, even to his very day, he was like thinking also how to make sure that everybody, especially taking care of, who's under his care, under his shelter, that they'll be taken care of, that they feel encouraged. So even he had like a book printed to be handed out on the day he would, on this memorial service, so that everybody, especially his students, would immediately. The book is called Forever Present. It's a beautiful book with instructions about seeing the spiritual master even when he's physically absent. So immediately he had this idea of like, okay, this is going to be hard for many people. So he immediately thought about how can I do something for them to encourage them, to make them feel loved and cared for. This was very, very exemplary. So that's the beautiful quality of saintly people. They are the best friend of all living beings. They don't consider this is my friend, this is my enemy. They consider everybody as good as their own selves and trying to uplift everyone. The only reason why they sometimes have to be strong with others is just to help them overcome their material desires. So Prabhupada once had a very intense discussion with some Indian men, and they were arguing, and they were saying, "You're becoming angry. You are not samam. You're not sama. You're not equipoised." And Prabhupada became more angry, and he pointed to all his Western disciples and said, "This is my samadarshina, that I see all these people as good as my own self and try to do something good for them." And then they left, and afterward, you hear, he became very emotional, and he said, "It takes gallons of blood," he said, "to make one person Krishna conscious." That's the compassion of saintly people. It's not that just like they're just sitting nicely, samam in the cave, meditating. No, their samam is people are suffering. I want to help them. I want to uplift them. And so Prahlad Maharaj exemplified this mood. And that is the mood of the Sankirtan movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in this movement, and I'll end with this thought. In this movement, it's that movement of where this mood is prominent, to not consider anyone's qualifications or disqualifications, act for the upliftment of everyone. And Lord Narasimhadev is the protector in that movement. When Lord Chaitanya started his Sankirtan movement, immediately, on the basis of this principle of lifting anyone and everyone, immediately there was opposition of the Brahmanas who felt threatened, of the Kasi who felt threatened. Because once people become encouraged and enlivened, and there's movement happening, then always people feel threatened about their status quo. So then the Kasi, he broke the Mardanga, he stopped it. And then, of course, Lord Narasimhadev, first of all, Lord Chaitanya organized a procession towards the Kasi's home to challenge him to retract this new law he had given that no one could perform Sankirtan in public anymore. So hundreds of thousands of people marched upon his home. And Lord Chaitanya met with the Kasi. And then the Kasi revealed his chest, and there were like scratches on his chest. He said, this form appeared in my dream of like a lion, half man, half lion, who told me that if I act in this demonic way, you'll certainly destroy me and my entire family. So Lord Narasimhadev proved himself to be the protector of the Sankirtan devotees. And this is in that mood we always take shelter of Lord Narasimhadev. And also we take shelter of Lord Narasimhadev for our internal Hiranyakashipu. Especially that selfishness by which we always remain in this very provincial consciousness of me and mine. That material desire which always keeps our consciousness very much focused on my needs and my desires, so that we finally start to think about the welfare of other people. This is beautifully expressed also by Prahlad Maharaj, that he prays to Lord Narasimhadev in the 5th canto that please destroy karmash and these deep-rooted material desires in my heart. And when that's done, then living beings can actually start to think of each other's welfare. So as soon as I'm just thinking of me, my needs, of course we have to take care of those things, but we just don't want to just stay there. We want to really expand our consciousness to see the needs of others and acting for the welfare of others by bringing them closer to Krishna. So also pray for Lord Narasimhadev to take away those obstacles so we can get in this mood of giving, of serving Krishna and serving all living beings very liberally. So sorry for it's a broad topic, Lord Narasimha's appearance day. There's a few minutes left. So just first want to see the chat. If anyone has any question. No, I don't see anything here.
Anybody in the temple room, maybe?
Yeah, Rupesh has a question.
Thank you for the lecture. Beautiful lecture. I guess we need more Prahlad Maharaj in New York City schools. So that being said, I heard an Indian folklore. I'm not technically sure of that, but just for you. So in the Sattva Yuga, there were sages in the Himalayas. In the Sattva Yuga, there used to be sages in the Himalayas who used to do all those penance because that was the time. And then Treta Yuga, they became those sannyasis or those acharyas doing that. And in the Dwapara Yuga, they became the Brahmanas doing all those yagnas and all. And in the Kali Yuga, they transformed like devotees like you, Champaka Mataji, doing initiations and bring those Prahlad Maharaj in the Nam. So it's a lineage. Yuga Dharma, Mahamantra. So that's what I heard. So it's all good.
Yeah, I haven't heard that
Yuga Dharma.
particular statement. But yeah, it said that in this age of Kali, there will be many, many devotees of Krishna.
So I have the quick question that I have is like, so we have like when we are purifying the apavitra pavitra, that kind of mantra, and then I mean I know I'm going on the Yogakshema part just to protect the devotees. So and then for even like Rudraksha also we have some empowerment, everything we have like Mahamantra is for us. But the Nasima Yantra that we purchase everywhere and we kind of hear most of the devotees with. To kind of empower that, is there any specific mantra that you want to share, like immediate, like fast charging, like USB charging?
So Rupesh is asking any
Like
mantra
Bija
for Lord
mantra
Narasimhadev.
also.
So Srila Prabhupada gave us mantras for Lord Narasimhadev, especially when temples were attacked in Los Angeles, I think. Prabhupada taught the devotees to chant these prayers for the protection, taking shelter of Lord Narasimha as the protector of the Sankirtan devotees. Namaste, Narasimha, everybody knows here. And also, he writes in the Bhagavatam that Bahir Nishingho, Hridaye Nishingho. So Nrsimhadev is outside, but he's also in our own heart. So we should pray to Lord Nrsimhadev to destroy the obstacles to our devotion within our hearts, the Hiranyakashipu within our own hearts. So in that mantra, those mantras, everything is included. There's many others as well, but these are the principal ones given to us in our parampara. And Lord Chaitanya used to recite those prayers when he would enter into the Jagannath temple. There's a form of Lord Narasimhadev, so he always took darshan of Narasimhadev and he prayed to that form.
Thank you. Okay, William Prabhu. Make it brief, William Prabhu. It's 8:01.
Yeah, keep the questions brief, please.
Hare Krishna. Wonderful class. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare.
Just wanted to add to that today, the appearance day of Lord Nrsimhadev, there's a Harinam Sarkitan from 1 to 5 at Fulton Street. And then also it's followed by a festival starting from 6 p.m. at Sri Sri Radha Govinda Madra. So thank you so much for class today. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Vasudev Prabhu. Great class. Wonderful. So nice to have you on our lineup of speakers. Can we take one more reflection?
Yeah. I think the darshan will take a couple more minutes, perhaps.
Okay, would anyone like to speak at this point? Reflect, ask a question. If not, I'll reflect. There's one point that I really love that Vasudev Prabhu made, that Samadarshana, this equal vision, doesn't just mean sitting somewhere or thinking. It means proactively going out and distributing this knowledge equally to everybody. So that's a very unique way of looking at this Samadarshana. And Prabhupada is an example of that. This is my Samadarshana, my disciples. Samadarshana means gallons of blood. It doesn't mean just thinking that, oh, the president is none different from a dog, or you're none different from a dog. Not just that. It's active service, gallons of blood. So thank you, Vasudeva Prabhu, for highlighting this aspect of Samadarshana. Okay, questions? Intelligent, pertinent questions? Andrea.
Yes, Andrea.
Hare Krishna, dear Vasudeva.
Hare Krishna.
I just wanted a quick request, since we do have a lot of new people that are attending the class, if we could say the Nrsimha prayers, and if you could give us a rough translation of them, it would be really helpful if it's possible.
Well, yeah. Namaste Narasimhaya. So obeisances to Lord Narasimha, Praladhala Dadayane, who gives pleasure to Pralad. Pralad already means pleasure, actually, highest pleasure. Pleasure of devotion. But he gives pleasure to Pralad. Praladhala Dadayane. Hiranyakashipu Vakshaha. Shila Tanka Nakhale. So he whose nails, whose nakha, are like tankas. Tankas means chisels. Hiranyakashipu Vakshaha, Shila, on the stone of the chest of Hiranyakashipu. So his nails are like chisels on the stone-like chest of Hiranyakashipu. Ito Nirsingha, Parato Nirsingha. Nirsingha is here, and he's also there. Yato Yato Yami, Tato Nirsingha. Wherever I go, Lord Nirsingha is there. But here Nirsingha, Nirsingha is outside. Hridaye Nirsingha, and Nirsingha is in one's heart. Nirsingham Adim Sharanam Prapate. I take shelter of Lord Narasimha Dev, who is the origin of everything. Tavakara Kamala Varena Kam Adbhuta Sringam. You're the Tavakara Kamala, your lotus hands, Adbhuta Sringam, and Nakam Adbhuta Sringam, are adorned with beautiful nails. Wonderful nails, Adbhuta, beautifully pointed nails, Adbhuta Sringam. Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam, in which those nails he pierced the chest of Hiranyakashipu, just like one's nails pierce a wasp. So Hiranyakashipu, of course, a very, very powerful demon, invincible in all the three worlds. But for Lord Narasimha Dev, it was just an insignificant insect. It was like a wasp. Actually, Hiranyakashipu first attacked Narasimha, but that attack was just like a wasp attacking a lion. So it's like a lion that's like slaps the wasp. So he was like with his nails just like very easily defeated him. Keshavadrita, to Lord Krishna, Narahari Rupa was taking the form of Narahari, half man, half lion. We glorify him. Jaya Jagadisha. All glories unto you, who is the Lord of the Jagadish, who is the Lord of the universe. So these are the prayers to Lord Narasimha Dev.
Wow. Andrea, how did you know that Vasudev Prabhu is probably the best person to introduce us to
He's a Sanskrit scholar, and Paul and I took a class with him of like intro to Sanskrit, and it's still something that we think about. Yeah, he's very dear to us.
Vasudev Prabhu is the right man for the job. Thank you, Vasudev Prabhu. Okay, it's nice seeing everybody. Sundaranandaji, are you trying to unmute yourself?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Vasudeva Prabhu is also going to be conducting a fire yajna today at the Bhakti Center.
Yeah. Yeah, Vasudev Prabhu is a painter, he's an artist, Sanskrit scholar, Pujari, unbelievable, multifaceted devotee.
Jai Sri Narasimha Dev Bhagavan ki Jai, Sri Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai. Any other final comments? Anyone wants to add something? Any meditation, Lord Narasimha Dev, or any experiences you had with Lord Narasimha Dev?
Bhima Prabhu, you had any experiences with your internal Hiranyakashipu or Nrsingadev today?
Yeah, I can feel his nails on my chest right now. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Bhima Prabhu. Bhima Prabhu speaks in his humility. Okay.
Yeah.
I also, are we done, Vasudev Prabhu? Can we take one more? Done?
Yeah, we'll do. We'll stop here. We'll do.
Okay.
John and.
Okay. Great.
We'll open a little bit later today. So,
okay.
But you all have to come this evening to take darshan. We have a special darshan today. Beautiful darshan, Lord Narasimha Dev. And beautiful darshan of Radha Murida. So please come.
Sure. What time is that, Vasudev Prabhu?
Well, the festival starts at 5:30. We'll do a homa, chanting prayers to Lord Narasimha Dev, like making a meditation of destroying the obstacles in one's own heart. That's something we can all do, regardless if we can come or not. We can think about what is something which is an obstacle to my devotion, and to pray today for Lord Narasimha Dev to remove that obstacle. And that's something we can do today. So But we do this yajna specifically to kind of have a meditation and a practice to guide that desire, to destroy its obstacles to one's devotion. And then there's kirtan and prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev. So that will be tonight, 5:30 till 9.
Great. Will that be broadcasted? Is Yashoda Dulal coming to broadcast?
We hope. I'm not sure about those. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful day of worship and meditation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. All right. Let's wrap it up here. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Lord Nrsimhadev, the remover of obstacles. Ki jai. Yes, Paula. Yes, Andrea. Okay. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. William Prabhu, can I see your beautifully shaped pointed nails like those of Nrsimhadev?
Okay.
All right. Okay. Hare